Are you ready?
Hello, and welcome to the Whole House Podcast, where we promise to bring you home, health, and family all in one place. We're a blog team trying our hand at podcasting, and we like to compare our different purposes and giftings and strengths to the rooms in a house. Together, we make up the whole house. So grab a cup of coffee and join our overly caffeinated team here for the Whole House Podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Whole House. Today we're here to take a few minutes to introduce ourselves and tell you what we're all about, what we're going to be talking about here on the Whole House Podcast. And let me introduce you to Kathleen. She's going to go first.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Guire. I'm the Whole House Administrator, and that just means that I get to do a lot of work, and I make these girls do a lot of work too. So I started the Whole House website years and years ago because I'm an adoptive parent, and I had 3 bios, and we adopted a sibling group of 4 back in 2000, so a long time ago. And at that time, I didn't feel like I had a lot of support. I didn't know anybody else who had adopted or who was fostering, and I had to do a lot of research on my own, which has really helped me. But one of my goals and my visions is to encourage, equip, and educate other foster parents. So that's definitely going to be one of the main things that I'll be talking about, is how to minister to parents and how to help kids that have come from hard places. And I'm also an Empower to Connect trainer. And what that means is I do classes for foster and adoptive parents and people who are thinking about fostering and adopting. And we teach 25 parenting tools along with some other useful stuff about what trauma does to the brain. And I'm also an author, and I've written 4 books. Positive Adoption, a memoir, which is about my story of growing up, weaved together with the story of my children's adoption. And I wrote a book called 25 Days of Thriving Through Christmas, an Advent devotional for foster and adoptive parents. And the first in the series, 5 Things, a tiny handbook for adoptive and foster parents. And a novel called Defining Home for teens, which we'll get into those books as we go on, but I don't want to take the whole introduction time. I also like projecting. I love to refinish furniture. I love to do my home in the way that reflects my personality. And I love hospitality. I love practicing hospitality. In fact, one of the things the Whole House team does is we have a live coffee hour where we invite a bunch of moms and kids once a month, and we discuss a topic, and we have a lot of fun. We also do a Christmas craft and cookie day and a harvest day. So we do a lot of things that are live, too, for people who are local. So I'm going to hand it over to Anne-Marie before I talk for an hour. This is Anne-Marie Campbell.
I'm Anne-Marie Campbell, and I got looped into this because I'm Kathleen's daughter. So I was raised into it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I'm passionate about through kind of my story about becoming a mom. About 5 years ago, obviously I come from a big family. I'm one of Kathleen's daughters, so I'm from a family of 7, and I am the second oldest of hers. I've always wanted kids, and when I graduated high school, I went to college, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I went into a lot of different programs, switched degrees a bunch of times, child development, speech pathology, teaching, all of those fun things that had to do with little kids. And then I married my husband in the middle of a semester, and for a year I hemmed and I hawed, and I complained to him about the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, whether I would go back to school, I don't know. And my husband is a planner, and his life plan was that we weren't going to have kids for 5 years. And then boom, boom, surprise, we got pregnant a year into marriage and had our first little girl, Cecilia, and now 6 years into marriage, we have 3. So there's the 5-year plan for you.
God's 5-year plan.
Yes, God's 5-year plan. It's the best plan. But so after I became a mom, I just was like a natural at being a mom. And I'm not trying to brag. It's just that's what I was good at. God just really showed me that I was good at being a mom. Other things that moms struggled with, like how do I make a baby stop crying? How do I entertain my toddler? I just knew I was just naturally good at it. And obviously, it has a lot to do with the argument for nature versus nurture. Is a lot to do with my nurturing, is that I was raised by a mom who was naturally good at it too and strived hard to teach me. So after that, I became really passionate about helping other young women who were struggling to find their purpose or struggling in motherhood, to just show them the amazingness of motherhood and how it really can be, though it can be a struggle sometimes, it can be a beautiful thing, a happy thing. And so that's what I'm passionate about, is teaching other moms how to be better moms and encouraging them into early motherhood. And you can hear my youngest in the background.
She totally agrees. Glenna agrees.
So, and I also like, as my middle child says, I do it projects. So I, just like all of everybody else here in the whole house. And so my husband and I just recently bought a fixer-upper, and that's the other thing I'm passionate about, is just fixing up my home and making it a welcoming place to have people over. So those are my passions, and that's a little bit about me. And I will hand it over to Carly Jones.
And before Carly starts talking, I just have to tell you, because you can't see, but Glenna is on my lap, and she is just watching her mom and contributing her 2 cents. And Glenna is 3 months old, so her 2 cents are
a coos.
A coos, yes.
Okay, I'm Carly Jones, and I will usually be your host here at the Whole House Podcast. My husband is Gabe over at the Decent Christian Talk Podcast, and we're really excited about what we get to do with our podcast. We're kind of creating a podcast network here, and so you can always find him over there. And we have a 2.5-year-old toddler named Judah, and so I spend all of my days hanging out with our toddler, and I just kind of accidentally became a stay-at-home mom, just kind of from lack of planning when I was pregnant, and I lost my job right before I had him, so
magically, stay-at-home mom.
Yes, magically
God ordained.
I became a stay-at-home mom, and found a whole new host of things I'm passionate about through it. So some of the things I really care about are eradicating human trafficking, do-it-yourself projects. We also have a fixer-upper that I'm pretty fearless when it comes to doing things myself. And so when it comes to mothering, I'm really passionate about car seat safety and baby wearing and breastfeeding, and so you can always talk to me about anything that you care about really deeply, because I will most likely care very deeply about it too.
Yes.
And next we're going to have Lori Schaefer introduce herself.
And she is on speakerphone. So
Yeah. I couldn't be there today. All my cars are gone. Everybody's using them. I'm Lori Schaefer. I have 3 kids. The oldest of which is almost 18 right now, so that's why he has 1 car. I had him pretty early in life, and through abuse from his father, who I left, by the way, not still with him. it's taken a long journey, but I've healed from that abuse, and now because of the things that I've gone through, I'm very passionate about teen moms that are going through pregnancy that feel lost, and women and children that have been abused, just to kind of encourage them and give them hope. I have my middle son has sensory processing disorder, so I talk about that a lot because it's kind of my life. I talk mostly because, sensory processing disorder isn't mainstream, so you feel very alone in it. And I like to be the person that helps other people not feel alone and give them hope and encouragement. And I think I do that in many platforms. I also do that through exercise. Me and Kathleen have an exercise account.
Yes.
Yep. I like to encourage people who get frustrated because I'm not one of those people that think, exercising, it becomes a habit and it's so fun. And I'm like, it might become a habit, but it's not fun. It's still work, but, I push myself and I encourage other people to do that also. And today is my anniversary.
Yay! Happy anniversary!
For, 14 years.
Wow.
For a great man. So I feel like my life has gone through rocky parts, and by the grace of God, with only God's strength, I've made it through, and I like to be that encouragement for other people.
And Lori didn't mention this, but she's the social media director for the whole house.
I don't think any of us.
Which means,
oh, yes, I am. I forgot that part.
Which we'll just go back through everybody, and you just kind of tell what your part is. So Lori's the social media director, which means she's constantly reminding me, don't forget that social media exists. Yes. And you need to post on it regularly, because that's just not part of the way I think. But I'm learning. And so, Carly.
You're a fast learner.
I guess my role, obviously, is to be the podcast host a little bit, but I also help Kathleen with some book editing and book cover designs, and I don't really know what else I would be. Yeah. I just kind of help.
That's plenty.
I just do whatever needs done.
Yeah, I was going to say she's the go-to girl.
She's the go-to.
I am the marketing director. I help Kathleen with marketing her books and marketing the whole house. And I also provide the whole house mascot, Glenna, on a regular basis. And so that's what I do. I also, we all do it together, but I also help plan, as well as Kathleen and Carly and Lori, all of the whole house events that we do, like the cookie days and the whole house live events and things like that.
And so let me just tell you, we're pretty down to earth. So maybe those titles sound like highfalutin, but they're really not. What that means
what my title was.
Right. What that means is, not too long ago when I was hosting a Thinking About Adopting seminar, and I had all of these great speakers coming, and what that meant for Amory is at the last minute showing up to babysit all the children that people brought to this event.
And working the book table.
Right, and that seems to be her thing is, I'm going to speak at this event. Can you come and stand behind the book table with your cute children? And
we'll buy things, and that's how I market her books with my children.
So, like we said, we're just really excited to bring you our new podcast called The Whole House Podcast. And we are going to take a minute to tell you, so you can find us on Instagram at _whole with a W _house, the whole house. You can also find us at Facebook at the whole house. And then we're going to each take a second to tell you where you can find us individually on social media. So, Kathleen?
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter at Kath Guire, which I'm not a really good tweeter. You can find me on Instagram at Kathleen Guire. You can find me on Facebook as Kathleen Guire. And I also manage the Whole House book discussion page on Facebook. And I manage the Whole House Facebook page.
I am not Twitter savvy. I'm not that witty. So, I don't have a Twitter, but I do post on Instagram a lot. It's mostly pictures of my kids. Let's be honest, that's what Instagram's for. And you can find me on Instagram at A Mary Hart, and it's spelled AMEREY, and then Hart. And you can find me on Facebook under Amory Campbell.
And so I'm Carly Jones, and you can find me on Facebook, just Carly Jones. You can find me on Instagram at Carlsbad, CAAARLSBAD.
We will definitely link these.
Yes, we'll link to all of our accounts.
Everybody's going to be sitting there with their notebooks like, oh my gosh, I got to get this.
Oh, we hope. Okay, your turn, Lori.
Okay. Well, I don't have Twitter either because I'm also not very good at it, so I just decided to delete my Twitter. And I'm on Instagram at Brown-Eyed Mom of 3, all one long word with the number 3, not spelling out 3. And I'm on Facebook under Lori Schaefer. And if you would like to follow our fitness account, we are 2 girls not running, the number 2.
Though they do run.
They do run a little bit.
Some.
We run sometimes.
So we are just really excited to be able to share our hearts and our passions with you guys, and be sure to check back for our next episode at the Whole House Podcast.